weapon for the modern age, built for combat, with tactical responses more acute than any human soldier.
What is that thing?
The INDORAPTOR. The perfect villain for any movie. People often hate on the INDORAPTOR, saying it wasn't needed in the Jurassic franchise. And I'm not going to say anything otherwise. But I think the Jurassic franchise needed something to kind of boost it. And Dominion failed worse than Fallen Kingdom did, in my opinion. And the INDORAPTOR is a sick villain, let's be honest. And there's no more proof than that, than the hype that has been surrounding this thing coming into Jurassic Blocky. The INDORAPTOR offers a lot to the game, and I think what we're going to see out of it is going to be very similar to other dinosaurs, but it's going to have its own unique spin. And that spin might be the very thing that makes it the most broken dinosaur in the game. In this video, I'm going to be telling you why INDORAPTOR will be the new villain of Jurassic Blocky. Quick stop before we get to the video. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. I'm really trying to hit monetization and I've gotten a lot of support, so clearly you guys like my videos. Alright, let's head back. The spinoraptor has been a really eye-catching dinosaur recently, as it being the most popular recent dinosaur added to the game. The INDORAPTOR was bound to be as popular, if not way more. The spinoraptor is just more niche because it's more of a Jurassic fan base isolated dinosaur. The INDORAPTOR is something that everyone knows about since it was in the hit movie Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Why do I bring up spinoraptor though? Well, spinoraptor fits in the exact same category as INDORAPTOR, a perfect mid-tier between tier 3s and tier 2s. They are more powerful than Baryonyx and Ceratosaurus and dinosaurs like them, but they're way less powerful than Giga and Rex. So why even add it in the game at this stage, other than to balance out the roster? Other than popularity, they fit into such a good point in the game where I don't think you could have put them at a better time. Put them in the game at a better time, to be honest, because Spinoraptor directly counters dinosaurs that were added in recent updates. If you can think of recent updates, who has been added? Mutodon, he dispatches Mutodons easily. D-Rexes, he can escape from easily. And Titanosaurs, don't even have to break a sweat, you could just run away. The thing is with Spinoraptor is that it's actually really easy to not die. And that's the whole point of a dinosaur, right? If you are in a battle, you want to not die. You want to win, you want to kill. But the number one priority isn't to kill the other person, it's to not die. So Spinoraptor fits into a perfect PvP mid-zone. In fact, I've really been into watching people use Spinoraptor, and it's grown on me quite a bit. INDORAPTOR, of course, depending on the moves, looks to be about the same. And here's what I'm thinking. Its four-legged stature would make it more balanced, and therefore would give it a more attack-worthy full setup. And if you want to know my opinion, it could genuinely be the best PvP dinosaur in the game if we're not careful. Spinoraptor has already exceeded my expectations by a hefty amount. The short I released a couple weeks ago on how good the Spinoraptor was completely off. The Spinoraptor is way higher up, and mostly because its high damage and high speed makes it a really hard opponent. So how then does INDORAPTOR get rid of teaming? Well, INDORAPTOR therefore counters everything that could possibly counter it, and it allows it to fight multiple people at once while still being able to pick them off. For example, imagine you're getting teamed on by maybe 2 Rexes. That's going to be really hard in normal circumstances, even with Spinoraptor, who's really fast. 2 T-Rexes are, of course, going to beat most dinosaurs. In fact, I would only say the sauropods would be able to survive that. But an INDORAPTOR would most likely have a lunge ability, and knowing the devs, they're probably picking up similar notes from other dinosaurs. We saw Spinoraptor do a jump kick, and I think on all fours, an INDORAPTOR would do a lunge where it would jump on the other character. We've already seen with Raptor getting its, really cool ultimate looking idea in Scarco's most recent video, or not most recent video, but one of his more recent videos from about a week ago about this really cool spinoraptor ultimate. And if they're planning on adding that to the game potentially this summer, Spinoraptor would have the same thing, and they would change his ultimate. So Indoraptor would have a similar ultimate. So therefore, a lungeability is kind of out of the question. But we could be seeing that in his third attack. And or my ability prediction slash once from the game, we could be seeing a similar thing there. If he is able to lunge, he is thereby able to kill every single dinosaur that counters him. Because lunges for four-legged dinosaurs like him are broken. Now, the stuns at the end of those lunges is what makes them really, really balanced, right? Spinoraptor is able to lunge and, hit for a lot of damage, but he falls over for half a second, which allows people to ultimate back on him. And Spinoraptor can't kick over some of the more powerful dinosaurs like Reber Spino. And a lot of people were expecting Spinoraptor to be able to kick over Reber Spino. But you know who would be able to kick over a Reber Spino? Indoraptor. Indoraptor is technically a class ahead of Spinoraptor, and that is clearly stated in Jurassic World Evolution. And literally every single game, Indoraptor is clearly able to hunt the bigger dinosaurs. And so Indoraptor would then therefore be able to kill and potentially beat down 2 Rexes. So let me give you a play-by-play. Imagine this in your mind. 3 Rexes, all side to side to side. And you're an Indoraptor directly in front of the middle one. What is your first course of action? Take a pause. Figured it out yet? Well, what you need to do is you need to lunge through the middle one. You need to make sure that all of them are caught off guard. The best shot that you have of beating 3 Rexes with 1 dino is whatever advantage you have. And the Indoraptor's advantage in this case would be everything. But the most outlier thing against a Rex, and you have to remember this in your mind when you're fighting it, every specific dino has their weaknesses. And the Rex, it's speed. Same with Giga. So this would apply for both Rex and Giga. You have to charge through them. And now you are away from their hitbox. So get side strafing, right? Side strafe away. Now you've hit one of them for decent damage. Indoraptor should have the damage output to do decent damage to a Rex. So you should now have it down to maybe 9/10 of its HP. Now, if you can get that middle Rex to re-advance on you, you can either lunge again, or you can continue attacking it side strafing. The other 2 Rexes are already behind because the initial Rex was caught off guard by the attack and followed you up. You can then pick off that Rex and do the same for the other 2. It's really not that complicated. In fact, I've seen people do it with a Spinoraptor, maybe with 1 or 2 Rexes, but an Indoraptor could very well do that. Along with that, you could very much do the same thing with dinosaurs in-game right now. And that's where I'm basing this off of. I'm not just saying the Indoraptor can be totally broken, which it probably will be, but I'm saying the Indoraptor has a very likely chance of being something that we can use as maybe the highest skill cap dinosaur in the game. So what are my 3 main reasons for saying that Indoraptors can become the most broken thing in the game? Number 1, I think Indoraptor has the highest potential to be a very fast dinosaur, if not the second fastest behind Velociraptor. Point number 2, it should have a decent damage output similar to Spinoraptor, which gives it enough attack to do very well against most dinosaurs. And 3, nothing so far in the game is prohibiting it. Until we add more mechanics to the game, Indoraptor is going to make use of what mechanics we don't have. And in that case, it's attacking takes stamina. And if attacking doesn't take stamina, then Indoraptor is going to be broken. Remember, it can only be broken when the user knows how to use it. But that's the same reason Indominus is broken. Indominus is not beating a D-Rex one-on-one. But Indominus is beating a D-Rex because the user knows how to use Indominus. And Indominus' hitbox is good enough to where it's really, really hard for a good D-Rex to hit it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to do a lot of videos tonight, and I'm very excited to see what you guys think of them. So stick around and maybe watch the other 2 that I have planned for today. Without further ado, have a good day.